Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ask Grit, episode number 32. Today we have Daniel from our Melbourne office. Welcome, Daniel. You're looking like you're getting ready to come to work next week.
Yeah, got into preparing for the end of lockdown. So good to be back in a suit after like 2 months, 2.5 months, I think.
But beautiful.
Absolutely.
All right. So, just to give a quick intro, we are running this program every Friday around 5 p.m. Melbourne time. What we do is we answer some of the commonly asked questions by our investors during that week so that it can add some value to you. And if you ask any questions while we're going on, we will try our best to answer your questions during this session. If not, we will move on to the next session. So we are going to have this session every week. Okay, now let's go.
Okay, the question number 1 was sent by a customer who's very much in our pipelines, you know very well. He seems to think, or his debate was, has the property market peaked now and will it slow down right now? Or is this still on an incline, is what he means?
Yeah, so the short answer is I don't think it has come to the peak. It is still on an incline. Because the reason for that is what we are seeing right now is totally from the domestic market. We started off the year with home buyers using the grants to take advantage of it, and then now we see a whole lot of investors from all across Australia capitalizing on what's going on right now. But it's totally the domestic market, and we are opening borders to the international students as well as investors very, very shortly in a couple of months' time. And just imagine what's going to happen in the next few months to come. So I think there's going to be huge demand from the international investors, especially when they can come and see and touch and feel. So I don't think it's over yet. Having said that, you could potentially see a slowdown in the market because you can't, in any market, Australian property cycle, it goes up, down, it will go flat at some point. So you could probably see market being flat towards end of 2022, but it's never going to crash. Time to buy is right now.
That's good to know. And also, like you said, when the borders open up and everybody has access to this country, I would think this incline will be sustained.
Exactly.
Okay. The next question I have yet from another customer, not my customer, of course, is: do you think it's best to wait and buy, or do you think it's better to buy right now?
I think more than us, Andrew Carnegie said it the best. Don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait. So that's exactly what we would say as well. There's no good or bad time to buy. There are bottom of the market, there's top of the markets. Wherever you are, based on your circumstances, buying a property is something you're not going to buy and sell next year. So it's a long-term game. So always the time is right now.
Absolutely agree with that. Buy and hold, and definitely it will create value for yourself.
Buy and never sell.
Never sell. I agreed. Absolutely buy and hold. Okay. Next question is about the Brisbane market. Is Brisbane good to buy right now, and how long will it be so? If it is, that is something he's asking. If it is, how long will it be so?
Yeah, so Brisbane market is, just like any other market. If you look at all states right now, it's every market is an upward trend, and Brisbane especially is very, very hot, especially because there's the local demand as well as a lot of interstate buyers are investing in Brisbane, especially because of what you can expect because of the Olympics in 2032. So the next 10 years in Brisbane is going to be very, very good. There's going to be a lot of infrastructure projects. There's few major projects which are happening along with the Olympic stuff which is happening in the background. There's going to be over $8 billion of economic growth, economic activity in Brisbane or Queensland. So automatically there will be growth. And the same thing happened in Sydney when there was 2000 Olympics. There has been about 60% growth from 1992 to 2000. I think there will be at least 60 to 80% growth in Brisbane as well for the next 10 years. So definitely it's a very good market to invest right now.
Okay, thanks, Alex. The next question we have is the mining boom back on? I would assume the mining boom meaning Brisbane, Northern Territory, South Australia, etc. So is the mining boom back in action?
It is definitely in action, especially in Western Australia, South Australia, as well as remote parts of Queensland. The mining boom is definitely back on, and it will last for some time. And so especially if you're looking at Western Australia, South Australia, there's really good stories for investors because the boom of mining is back on, definitely.
Oh, that's good to know as well. Another question a bit out of this situation about the other interstate or regional investments is, what is the stamp duty benefits given to people in Melbourne at the moment?
There's few. I mean, if you're a first home buyer, if the property is less than $600,000, you do not pay stamp duty. So there's zero stamp duty for first home buyers for properties below 600,000. If you're an investor, there are no stamp duty concessions unless you invest in the city of Melbourne, meaning the city of Melbourne Council, which has 14 suburbs. You get Melbourne City, you get South Bank and Albert Park, South Melbourne. Or there's 14 suburbs in Melbourne City Council. If you purchase something below $1 million, you get 50% off stamp duty. So it has to be an apartment because there's no houses in a city of Melbourne below $1 million. So if you purchase an apartment brand new, you get 50% off. You can be off the plan. There's also a scheme where if an apartment is brand new and has not been sold for 12 months, you get 100% stamp duty waiver in the city of Melbourne. That's a very rare occurrence. So there has to be a brand new property which has not been sold for 12 months. It's very rare to find that kind of apartment because everything gets sold off the plan or right after they launch it. But if you can find something like that, you get 100% stamp duty off. So those are the benefits in Victoria right now.
So just out of curiosity, 100% stamp duty off whether you're an owner occupier or an investor.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Correct.
So either way, it's 100% off. That's pretty good. That's a very rare benefit you'd ever see. I've not seen such a good benefit in a long time. What is the stamp duty? Are they built and ready to go? Are they built and ready to occupy brand new properties we can purchase right now?
I'm sure they're asking, it has to be a brand new property, but it has to be ready to go in. Yeah. There are few, but not many. Again, depending on the location, they need as well. I mean, that kind of criteria is quite difficult because brand new properties are done mainly by investors or home buyers. If it's a home buyer, they build it to live in it. If it's an investor, 99% of the time, they would rent it out and get some capital appreciation on it. So there are very rare occurrences where people would flip it as soon as they build it, but there are few options available. So
it would be an extremely rare occurrence to see some, a builder or developer build their own house and keep it ready for sale. And that
correct.
That much of investment into the development. Okay, there's another question that just came in, going back to the Brisbane matter. Yeah. Do you think the Olympics growth during the time after the Olympics will hold, or will it backtrack? I think what he means is, will it come back down after the Olympics?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, once, if you look at Queensland, I mean, the best example is Sydney. They had Olympics in 2000, and look at the median price right now. You can't buy anything for $1.45 million in Sydney. And you still have to go far away. And once a property appreciates, there's never been crashes in Australia. And because the fundamentals are strong, and the same thing is going to happen in Queensland. There might be a lot of appreciation, but that will become the benchmark after that. And no, I really don't think the prices will come tumbling down after the Olympics, because infrastructure is set, population growth is happening, so the fundamentals will be strong even in Queensland.
Okay, that's all. Good. And like you said, now, I don't think, once it goes up, they're never going to come back. Someone who buys a property for $1 million, 4-5 years later, or 3-4 years later, is not going to sell it for $500,000 down the road. You hold on to it, like you said, you hold on to it, inevitably it's going to grow in value.
Exactly.
What are the key benefits in buying a property pre-construction?
The benefits of buying off the plan or as the house and land package, the benefits are you're paying less stamp duty. So stamp duty is one of the taxes you pay when you're investing in property, right? If you buy a property of say $700,000, you'll be paying about $35,000 in stamp duty. Whereas if you build a property by purchasing a block of land for about $300,000, you'll be paying about $15,000 in stamp duty. So there's a significant saving in stamp duty when you build a property. At the same time, it's going to be a brand new property. You will have less headaches as an investor rather than purchasing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old property. You do have warranties in place for all your appliances, at least for 1 or 2 years. And the chances of you having some expenses will be very, very low. And the most important benefit would be, as an investor, they have a lot of tax benefits where you can claim tax back to depreciation of the property when the property is brand new. For the first 5 years, you will get a very good return from your tax return without giving away to the taxman.
So you're integrating your tax money for your investment and your creation of wealth.
And that's exactly what you should be doing, right? So, based on everyone's income, we pay significant amount of taxes for the government, and one of the only ways you can get tax back is through investment properties, with the right investment properties.
With the right properties through us. Okay. The next question I have: what are the you said in your previous seminar to talk to the bank and lock in equity if you have it right now, because the market is at a good point. What does that mean, Naveen?
Yeah, maybe they were referring to what you should be doing at the top of the market. So if the market is at the top, there's a higher chance that the valuers of the bank would value their properties at a premium price rather than at the bottom of the market. So let's say, for example, if you have a property which is worth of $1 million, your loan is only $500,000. If the valuer of the bank goes and values it at 1 million or more, you can take that equity out and lock it in and keep in your offset account so that you don't pay any interest, but you will be ready to move with that cash to buy some investment properties when the time comes. Rather than waiting, let's say if your property is worth 1 million right now, but let's say 3 years down the line, market has stagnated, valuations will not be in favor of you. It might value at say 950. That way, the amount of equity you can get will be lesser than what it is right now. So what I meant by locking in is you can lock in the equity, the maximum possible equity, so that you can use it in the future.
Okay. All right, then there's another question from a customer of mine back from Sri Lanka. They say Hobart is at $1 million median price right now. Is this because of strong foreign demand? Just kidding.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because nobody could come into Australia to any of the states, and all the borders have been closed, and we are slowly opening up. It's totally domestic demand and domestic investor sentiment, as well as the first home buyers who started it off. So it's totally local, totally domestic. It's not international at all. And as I said before, when borders open, it's going to be a totally different ballgame altogether. Rentals will be back to normal, especially with the student population. And there'll be a lot of investors flocking in to buy properties in Australia from all over the world.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. When the borders open up, when COVID normalizes, a lot of countries they're harder hit than Australia is, and a lot of people will be looking to come to Australia, a safe haven in the world.
There's another question. What is the threshold for land tax in Queensland? Yeah, so each state has threshold for land tax. It's a state-based tax. Threshold for Queensland is $600,000. So it's much better than Victoria, which is $250. If your land value is less than $600,000, you don't pay land tax in Queensland.
Just to confirm then, I mean, this land tax is only on the rental properties you own, not the investment properties you own.
Correct.
Or the principal place of residence.
No, principal place of residence does not incur any land taxes.
Land tax. So it's only on the investments you contain. So I have a list of it here. Victoria land tax threshold starts at $250. New South Wales is at $755. Queensland is over $600,000. South Australia, all values. Western Australia at $300,000. And Canberra is fixed at 1,392 plus a percentage of the valuation.
Correct, yeah.
So I got that right.
Spot on.
All right. So that's any other questions? Anyone else?
The feed.
There's someone typing something.
When do you expect the Geelong to Melbourne railway to be completed? Yeah, the expectation is 2024, 2025 period. Everything has been approved and that is definitely going ahead. So 2024, 2025 is the timeline for that project. All right, I think about 16 minutes down. So we want to keep these sessions very short and sweet. And at the same time, we want to add some value to all these questions. We are running fortnightly webinars every Thursday at 7 p.m. In different cities. We just concluded one yesterday at Sydney. For some investors in Sydney, we'll be doing the next webinar for investors in Brisbane in 2 weeks' time. Likewise, every other Thursday, fortnightly at 7 p.m. in your local time, there will be a webinar. So please feel free to join us, and you can catch us on any of our social media channels. And until we see you next week, have a fabulous weekend.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you.